It is unfortunate that I must first make these statements, but it is a pressing matter that needs to be addressed. Is Anonymous a hate and cyber-terrorist or an activist for freedom and truth? No. Yes. Anonymous beginnings make it difficult to understand the entity. Anonymous is simply ideas without origin, may it be a phrase, a fad, a proverb. The concept of Anonymous has always existed. The Anonymous that we know now, the one currently aligned against the Church of Scientology, which crimes and dangers are well documented, so I will not cover them here. Anonymous started as an image board in Japan nearly a decade ago, a place where there were no rules, no topic, no identity, images and text with no authorship. The only control was whether a post was enjoyed or simply deleted from lack of interest. The individual isn't measured. Slowly, through repetition and this unique natural selection, popular ideas duplicated and developed into memes. These memes would be incorporated into new ideas. Evolution of thought. Eventually another image board was built in the likeness for the English-speaking world. Quickly it grew in scope and influence. A public club with secret members, an ecosystem of thought. The diversity of Anonymous is as vast as the human condition, thus as the way of the universe, the good with the bad, the left with the right. A place where the age of a post is measured in seconds, change is instant, and it is total. Anonymous is the sum of its members divided infinitely. When Anonymous was young, it was immature and childlike, while the majority was simply for entertainment and creativity. The darker and more sinister aspects slowly pooled in the shadows. Soon this poison spread, and Anonymous found itself with a choice: either continue to let the natural chaos, or to go against the very purpose of Anonymous. Those who controlled the medium, the servers, made the fateful decision to purge these cruel and disgusting segments. A great war waged for what is nearly an eternity in the time of the Internet. This underbelly broke off and formed their own image boards, where they could do as they wished outside the original. The majority of these splinters were of that same dark and perverse world. Over time, these niches died or consolidated. They are the ones who have done such harm. They are racist because it is offensive. They are sexually perverse because it is outlawed. They are cruel because they can. Yet we cannot disown these aspects of Anonymous as much as we can disown the human race. They are nearly everything the majority stand against and can only survive in isolation. Except they are the ones who dare. They are the ones who dared to stand against the racist radio. They are the ones who, maybe out of guilt, brought a pedophile to justice. They are the ones who dared to think freely without regard for others. And they may have started the meme that has grown so large. For all their crimes, they may have just started this whole thing. But with Anonymous, there is no authorship. Their claim is no more valid than the individual's claim to existence. They are simply a spark, but not the fire. Now, the sum of Anonymous has changed even more. Every day, the immaturity and disgust is diluted by the intelligent and the educated, those who are motivated to take up the cause. Anonymous has grown out of the image boards, out of the Internet, and into the world we know, the world in which we live. We have grown and are growing. Every mistake we learn. Every failure we regenerate. Every success we build on. There is no control, no leadership, only influence. The influence of thought. And now it is time that I go. but I will be seeing you on the other side.
If you're like me, and you're just a regular American, you've never been much for political involvement. I never was. I voted, but I was never one to be politically active or any kind of an activist. I work hard. I'm a middle-income person. I have a family, and I know that times are tough right now. The reason that we are in this mess is not because of any accident, and it's not because of the real estate boom and bust. It's because over the last several decades, we have completely lost control of our country. The usury and corruption of the big banks doesn't stop with the big banks. This is perpetrated by a global banking cartel that basically owns and controls our government leaders. Both Republicans and Democrats alike are now completely corrupted. The mess that we're in today is the largest transfer of wealth in the history of human civilization. We, the American people, need to take swift, immediate, and drastic action. And my message to Washington: be afraid. Be very, very afraid.
Civil disobedience is an extraordinary tactic. What you're saying is, I'm going to break this law on purpose because I have a great respect for the law.
I went downstairs, I was leaving the Pentagon, and an officer from the Joint Staff called me into his office and said, I want you to know, he said, sir, we're going to attack Iraq. And I said, why? He said, we don't know. He said, I said, well, did they tie Saddam to 9/11? He said, no. He said, but I guess they don't know what to do about terrorism, and so they think, but they can attack states, and they want to look strong, and so I guess they think if they take down a state, it will intimidate the terrorists. And you know, it's like that old saying, he said, if the only tool you have is a hammer, then every problem has to be a nail. Well, I walked out of there pretty upset, and then we attacked Afghanistan. I was pretty happy about that. We should have. And then I came back to the Pentagon about 6 weeks later. I saw the same officer. I said, why haven't we attacked Iraq? We still going to attack Iraq? He said, oh, sir, he says, it's worse than that. He said, he pulled up a piece of paper off his desk. He said, I just got this memo from the Secretary of Defense's office that says we're going to attack and destroy the governments in 7 countries in 5 years. We're going to start with Iraq, and then we're going to move to Syria, Lebanon, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and Iran. They wanted us to destabilize the Middle East, turn it upside down, make it under our control.
Far too long now, and the rest of Congress, including the executive branch of government, along with the judicial and legislative, have turned your back on the American people and their core values and principles. I can say with great confidence and speak on behalf of all Americans that your actions against this country are treasonous. All of you, against the will of the American people, have aided and abetted the enemy. You and the rest of Congress, including the President of the United States, have went against the will of your people. In Syria, regardless of your position and vote, whether it is a yes or no, is still a political smokescreen. I believe wholeheartedly you do not care about the will and well-being of America or its people. You lied to the American people about the chemical attacks in Syria. The American people know that it was our government that is most likely responsible. There is strong evidence, including video, that these attacks were carried out by Al-Qaeda. And you advocate starting a war, even maybe world war. President Barack Hussein Obama has been supporting terrorism. The United States has been funding and aiding its organizations, including the Muslim Brotherhood and Al-Qaeda, for many years now. The same enemy we're supposed to be defeating on the battlefield. At least one country in this world stood up against this government terrorism that you guys support in Egypt. The people of Egypt throughout Mohammed Morsi, which Obama supported as well, as countless Christians have lost their lives under evil people such as this. You swore an oath to protect us and protect from all enemies, both foreign and domestic. The simple irony is the domestic enemy now in this country is the people and government of the United States. And McCain and you and the rest of our leaders are accountable for their actions. It's too bad someone like me is not in office to hold you accountable, because if I was in a position of power or authority, I would have you all arrested and tried for treason against my country under the grounds of 18 U.S.C. 2381 treason U.S. Code. Whoever owing allegiance to the United States levies war against them or adheres to their enemies, giving them aid and comfort within the United States or elsewhere, is guilty of treason. That is the code. The American people are sick of it. This country rose up against you recently. The ratio, hang on, I have a right of free speech, I can finish. The American people opposed to going to war with Syria, which includes many Marines and other veterans by the thousands, was 499 to 1. That is 99% of the people of this country. So if you and the rest of this government are truly for the American people and representatives of us, I suggest this time you listen, because nobody wants another war or strike in Syria or anywhere else. Bring our brothers and sisters home.
Images have emerged on social media purporting to show U.S. servicemen speaking out against a looming strike against Damascus. People in military dress are seen posing in front of cameras with signs saying that they didn't sign up to fight with Al-Qaeda in Syria. These pictures cannot be verified. The Pentagon is reportedly looking into the possible identities of those involved. For some perspective on that, I'm joined by Gordon Duff, a Marine Corps